A lot of senior leadership on the floor, made big plays, never seemed to be rattled. Just possession by possession, got ourselves back in the game, and when we took the lead, really, I think we played with a great deal of confidence from that point forward.
Sherri, we talked about Chelsi and Aaron hit three-pointers kind of back-to-back there, and just how much that opened the game up as far as them having to guard a little bit more up under and inside the court.
Yeah, it had a dual role. It obviously made them defend a little bit differently, but it also is a huge motivation play. There's a lot of momentum that switches when you jump up and knock down a three. There's sort of our guys have sort of an air about them that if Aaron and Chelsi are making threes, we don't feel like anybody can guard us. And it's just an attitude. It's a pervasive mindset. And that reminds me a little bit of back in the day when Stacey Dales was throwing no-look passes to people who were open in transition. When that was going, everybody kind of thought, wow, we're going to win this game. And I just feel that from these guys. As soon as we hit threes, there's just confidence that seems to come that's extra special. Your offensive play bleeds into your defensive play, and that happened a little bit to us in the first half. We're turning the ball over, and then you come back, and even though you're trying to get in the next play, in your brain, you're kicking yourself, turning the ball over, and then you forget to do your work early, and suddenly Mosby's caught it with a foot in the lane, and now bad things are going to happen for us. And the flip side of that is exactly the same. When we start making threes, now we got a little extra spring in our step. Anybody who's ever played, shoot, I could be tired as a dog, I make a shot, and I can guard anybody for the next possession. There's just something about that. And our offense bled into our defense and into our rebounding. I thought our job on the boards was just tremendous from about the 11, 12 minute mark on.
Did you guys learn anything from the Ohio State game that probably helped you in this game, especially with just interior defense and?
Yeah, and athleticism on the perimeter. Doing a much better job of limiting the amount of times that the ball gets into the paint. Still having breakdowns on it, still got to get better at it, but it's hard to play a perfect game. It's not going to happen just as long as we keep cutting away at it. Doing a better job now than we did earlier. I don't think there's any doubt that game and having to claw back the way we did in that one, even though we didn't win, and being behind in Nebraska, clawing back and figuring out how to finish that, all of those experiences collect. They add up, and they give you a little something that you can't get any other way.
Sure, they went open 13. We have to get pressure on them.
I felt like we were. They missed a couple, and that's typically a two-way street. If you shoot poorly from the three-point line, a little bit out of you, a little bit out of them. It's typically the way it is. But I thought we did a good job of locating them and at least making them take contested threes. Didn't give any wide open.
Talk about getting it going in the second half. It seemed like you were just pretty much on a mission.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we're all on a mission every game, and that's to win. I don't know if they were double teaming or not, but I felt like single coverage, and so we ran through our motion options, and then last resort, go score. And so I just scored and went in, and most of them did.
Was there a moment where it sort of hit you, there's only one person on me, I can, take this to the basket all day long? Did that ring for you, and is that what you did?
I think that's like Aaron Higgins being right open for three and not shooting. If I'm going to have one person on me, that's what we want. I'm always going to think go score, even if I miss it, or I miss a lot of shots today, but even if I miss it, that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Can you talk about the rebound again?
I don't know, we kind of stress rebounding in our school, so I don't know how my boxing out was this game. I figured that I'm not going to pass boxing out tonight, I better at least get some rebounds. But I think it's just urgency, and then just doing whatever you can do to make sure you win. And rebounding plays a big factor.
Chelsi, it sure seemed like it was very physical out there. You were on the floor a couple of times, and what was that play like?
Their guards really got into us as far as cutting. I didn't find myself able to just cut down the lane other than a couple of times without just letting bodying against you and keeping you from going where you want to go. And that's a good job defensively. And a few times we had one play where they were just all over us trying to keep us from going where we wanted to. So it was definitely physical.
Did it feel feel kind of like a heavyweight fight out there at all?
I think I've been through worse. I mean,
Yeah.
it was physical, but I didn't notice particularly.
Sherri, did you see anything from your team that was new in the sense that they just weren't going to be denied? And I remember Chelsi grabbing a ball that typically might have been tied up and pulled it through 2 Baylor people and then went to the basket and was fouled. And it just seemed like there was a little more going on out there, I guess.
Special seniors. Special seniors. It's easy to answer that. There's a sense of urgency that seniors have that nobody else can understand. And these guys are such good kids. Just such good kids who compete and work and want to do the right thing, and they will possessions. I believe in that.
And, y'all did really well on the offensive boards too. There was one possession. You got we done a free throw. Can you maybe just talk about how hard y'all went after those boards too?
Well, Courtney said we kind of focused on it in our school, but it's a pretty big deal. Every day in practice we start with rebounding, and throughout practice it's always one of the greatest emphasis. And so I think when you focus on it that much, it's just kind of something that comes during the game.
And Baylor's a good rebound team too. Was it just very physical out there? Did you have to go really hard to get the
It was, and I think that's Big 12 though too. I think you're going to see that throughout these next few months. You're going to see a lot of physical games. There's a lot of great teams in the Big 12, and Baylor's one of those. And they're a very physical team, and they're not going to give you anything easy. And you have to fight for whatever you get. And I guess that was evident tonight.
Sure. At halftime, you look down, it's like 14 turnovers. Was that just a sense of they ever really calm down? Let's just run our eyes down.
Not exactly what it is in the locker room. But it's interesting in that my radio guy is Mr. Statman, and before the game he told me that in our 3 wins over Baylor last year, we averaged 15 more turnovers than them per game. And at halftime we were on pace for that. We probably ended up with, I think we had 20, and they surely had more than 5, didn't they? I haven't seen that. But that's how they get a lot of baskets, you know? And when you go back and you think about that, if you cut that in half, you know, instead of beating them by 10, you beat them by 25. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And sometimes turnovers can be contagious. It's like the flu. I mean, you make one, and then the next guy makes it, and the next one makes it, and suddenly you can't hang on to the ball. And I was glad halftime came when it did, because it gave everybody a chance to go, all right, we can play better than this, we can handle it. And then I think we did. And that's, I think, kind of the way the halftime talk went. I regrouped too.
Or did you just do what you were supposed to be doing all along better?
A little both. We changed defense a little bit, and also we made a few adjustments, specifically on Bosley. She's a great player. She got a lot tonight, did a really good job, but we made a few adjustments guarding her, and then I think the difference between the first half and second half was just the intensity. There was a whole different mindset, I think, in the 2 halves that showed the defense.
One more question, guys.
Chelsi, how about the three-pointer you made? You look like you were pretty confident that it was going in, and it kind of really put you guys on the roll.
I just live for those rhythm threes. Rinse and